In my head, I'm thinking about how much deeper you went with this movie. I'm thinking about the word bonkers and stuff like that, and you're dropping some truth bombs on me, and I love this because it's true. I mean,
Oh,
it's just the awareness, right? Some people have it, and some people don't use it. Sometimes you know a lucky number, or you can stop at this place, but I think it's just reading people, knowing people. Wow.
exactly. That feeling that you get when you meet someone and you're like, I like this person. This is a good egg. Or, oh no, why is this person giving me the creeps? I don't even know them. Like
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. It's a very acute sense of awareness, really, that some people have and some people don't. And I think that's the shine.
And then you can kind of maybe become like a predator with it too. You could use
That's the
that.
thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What you do with it, you can manipulate people and gain everything for yourself and whatever it is that you want. Think you can live forever, be invincible. I mean, like we know of people in the world like that. So, like
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it's that. And the responsibility of, and I think that's where the whole consequences of, how the true not, they don't fear consequences. That's how they can just like do what they do to kids.
Hmm.
But the fear of consequence, I think, is a good thing in a way, because that's what helps us to overcome addiction, and all of that. So I think that also ties into the movie.
Wow. Man,
Yeah, sorry. This is like,
I love this.
honestly,
I
this
love it.
movie is very close to home for me because I had a traumatic childhood. I can relate to Danny a lot. So, like, yeah, I'm going to come with the deep stuff,
No,
but we'll also keep it light and say bonkers at least every 5 minutes, at least.
I feel the same way about the movie Take Shelter. Like I would get very philosophical about that
Oh,
movie. That movie like hits
yeah,
just thinking about it like really gets me. So
yeah.
I know I guess I don't know how you feel, but I kind of know like looking into the characters and the shots and explaining the motivations. I definitely know where you're going with that.
Yeah. And I think that's to also go back to a previous question that, like, when you asked me how do I feel about The Shining, I think with The Shining, I didn't really connect with it that much. And yet it was also very close to home for me. Like my dad, yeah, he wasn't like, he struggled
Yeah.
and we had a lot of shit with that. And, but like, with this one, I felt, and maybe because it's from Danny's point of view, being the kid that had to go through that childhood trauma, and dealing with it. I mean, that whole thing when he gets his 8-year coin and he talks about sobriety and he talks about his dad, like it was so accurate, Mark. I can't tell you,
Wow.
like, extremely accurate. Like that is how it is. You feel like you want to run away from, but you also want to run towards because, like, it's how Dick says, we all have a bit of light and a bit of dark, like even Jack Torrance had a bit of light in him, even that we didn't really get to see much of it. It was
Hmm.
there, but it's like this whole process that you have to go through. And, but I loved like the end of the speech where Danny, ended it saying that, his sobriety was for his dad and that he kind of did it for the both of them because Jack Torrance never could do it. Oh,
So
dude, so
good.
accurate. So accurate.
I thought at first his performance maybe was a little like not okay. What was I trying to think? Like understated. Like I didn't know if he. But then I guess I watched it again and I picked up a lot of those notes a lot more. I really liked that. I found more nuance, which obviously you do the more times you watch things. But I found a lot more nuance. Like the way he's I call it The Shining. Like that could sound goofy in another actor's words, but the way he said it. Like I think Ewan. I mean, he's been acting forever, but he got this character, and I think he was able to really kind of deliver the earnestness of it, I guess, and the
Oh,
helplessness.
yes.
And I
Oh,
dug that.
yes.
I don't know.
No, he played Danny with such humility. And I think that is what was really the winner.
Hmm.
Like he played him down as well. Like you could see the little boy in him, really. And I think that is like, like that what makes his story so sad. But then to see him grow throughout the film, it's just so beautiful. That's why I don't think the ending is really grim. I think he was like, at the end, he was at peace with it.
Hmm.
And I think at the end of the day, that's the most important thing you can hope for. Like, how would you like to end your life? At peace. That would be great,
And, oh, wait, I had something good. I forgot. Because, yeah, no, you're right. I mean, he ended up really happily. And at the end, Abra was able to say that her dad was at peace. So
Yeah.
I really appreciated that. Like, it was a neat scene between her at the end where she finally started using her powers. And you know what's interesting? Her mom didn't really like when Amber used her powers, but she would lead her leading questions to get her to use her powers. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that was interesting, like something in the director's cut that was also like, there were more of that in there because, yeah, I mean, that whole thing also about kids kind of suppressing, their abilities or their stuff whenever, like, an adult would look weird at them and they're like, okay, no, I shouldn't do this because obviously they don't like that. And I so felt for her, that her parents were like struggling to deal with it and she couldn't just be open and honest with them. But yeah, I found it interesting that, okay, so mom doesn't want to deal with it, but when someone's apparently sick, then she wants to know, is she going to make it? Is she going to live? Then it's fine. Then Abra can use her powers. And I'm like, yeah, doesn't really work like that, mom. You can't just like whenever it suits you,
Yeah, I noticed that. I thought that was a little squirrely, like just kind of but I like that. I think parents would do that. Like, I don't want to believe it, but if it can help me win the lotto, I'm going to ask.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it's very real. Again, what makes it so good, the way Flanagan does it, you can always like, in some way or another, you can bring it back to the real world. And it's like, yep, that's how that'll play out.
And Danny, like, so he was telling her not to use his powers, but I don't think it was coming to a place of you can't do it. It was just coming from his experiences with his dad, with kind of like his growing up, with his alcoholism, with his like, the history of growing up, the way his mom would look at him. So I don't think he saw it as you can't do it. I just think that's the way he lived. And that was like what got him. Does that make sense? So I don't think he was telling her you can't do it, but I think it was more of like, once he figured that out, he's like, oh shoot, I was wrong. But I kind of liked how he came to that conclusion at the end. And it wasn't from like hubris, it was just from his life experiences.
Absolutely. He was just like basically projecting his own fears and his own like struggles with, controlling it and everything onto her, really. I think it was more just projection, I think.
All right. So, hey, quick, let's do something real quick. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we will talk more. I already forgot the name of this movie. That's how much I've been getting into this. We'll talk more
Bonkers.
Dr. Sleep. Bonkers.
We'll talk more bonkers.
Bonkers Dr. Sleep. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And I never mentioned this in the beginning, but I just want to say thank you for writing that article that I loved on Cracked about people who did. Let's see, I'm pulling it up right now because I thought this was a great idea. 6 insanely complex pop culture mysteries solved by fans, and you included my It Follows data on this. And then because of that, I was like, well, this is fun. Like, you included my data, and like Adam Weir's wrote about one of my like random data pieces before that. So then that gave me like the guts to talk to the people at Cracked, and then they let me start writing for them, which was really cool because I loved the podcast back in the day. So I just want to say thank you for writing that article to get me going with Cracked.
You're welcome. No, that's actually so cool. Like, I loved it when I saw your name starting to pop up in the column section because, yeah, when I did research on that article, I stumbled upon your website where you did all your wacky data stuff. I love it. What's it called again?
It's
the data.
Oh, I just call it dumb data. And it's like movies, films,
dumb
and flicks.
Data, yeah. Dumb data. I love it. Dumb data. It sounds so like, dumb data, but it's awesome data. Like, I found that It Follows, but I stayed for a while on your site looking around. And when I actually pitched like the research stuff, I actually had a little note there for the editors. Listen, check out this guy because his stuff's really pretty cool. And you've referenced us before. Mm-hmm. So I like made a little note, like, everyone go check out Mark because he's pretty cool. So yeah, it was awesome when I saw your name pop up, and it's like, yes.
Yeah, I
one of us.
Well, I call it dumb data just because. All right, so maybe I'm a little defensive about it because it's silly, but a lot of people on the internet are just so like, this is dumb. So I think I got defensive, and I'm like, it's just. So basically, I tell people I just want them to chuckle. Like, my stuff won't change any lives, but it'll just get people laughing about whatever it is. So I started calling it like dumb data to like head people off at the past, and maybe it's a little self-conscious, but and also when people call it dumb data now, I'm like, it's what I call it. Like, so I guess it's kind of, there's a lot of work that goes into it, but I guess it's a defensive thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I call it dumb data.
It's a lot of work. You do a lot of work. No, I think it fits. I actually think it's perfect. It's such a internet name for a site anyways. No, I think it's good. I think you're good with that. And it's a great site and you do great work. It's very fun. You just like, it's a lot of data and stuff, but the way you write it, for the readers, I think it's great. Everyone should go check out Dumb Data.
I wasn't fishing there, but I appreciate the ad and
read more cracked.
Yeah. And like, look for your stuff. So, I mean, you know what, in the post for this, like I write one for each. I'll just include the links to your work with bunny ears and cracked, and then I'll include your like Twitter, so if people can come check you out. That was good. It follows producers. They asked me not to say who, but they reached out to me and said my data was like almost exactly right, which made me so happy. They're like,
wow.
They're like, you nailed it. That's weird. I'm like, why? What's up?
Did they email you?
Yeah, they like reached out to me. Well, one reached out to me on email, and the other one sent me a message on Movies, Films, and Flicks. And I got the message, and I was like, from two separate ones. And they're like, yeah, like I don't know how you did it, but like that was you kind of nailed it. Like you basically figured out the timeline of the movie, and so that made me really happy because I figured there was no right. You know what I love about Dumb Data? There's no right answer to it. So as long as my math checks out, it makes sense.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool, though. Like, I think you should print out that email and frame it.
Oh, that'd be nice. Actually, this sounds bad. Like, you know how Flanagan did the Stephen King framing? I got interviewed by Wired because of my data. And so I got profiled by them. So my wife went and got me like a custom frame of the interview in there.
Oh, but I love it. That's so cool. I mean, that's so cool.
Like, not everyone, like I just want to get my love of Deep Blue Sea out there. And you love Deep Blue Sea.
Man, I mean, that's the one thing that I think we have a lot of things in common of like pop culture that we love. But yes, can we just please tell the audience that we might be the biggest Deep Blue Sea fans ever?
No, I think we are. I'm trying to start. I think I'm doing another Deep Blue Sea series. I think we're gonna do like we're gonna talk about each kill in the movie. I don't think I'm just so just start just talk about all the kills in that movie because I was working in a theater in '99 when it came out, and I just remember audiences going insane for it. The death of Samuel L. Jackson, and I just love sharks in general. So it's just it's like the perfect. And I want to get rid of like maybe we can work on this. It's just getting rid of the myth that it's so bad it's good. Like it's so good it's good. Like it's not like
honestly, I mean I think people are very nitpicking there. Like I don't know what they really expected from the movie. No, I think it's a lot of fun and it's well done. It really is. Let's do a whole series on this. I'll come back on the pod and we can talk about Deep Blue Sea because I think we need to like just re-educate everyone about one of the greatest shark movies. I know you're a big Jaws fan. For me personally, it's the best shark movie ever. But yeah.
Let's do it.
We can talk about that another time.
I need to do one every year. Like get a Deep Blue Sea episode out on the podcast every year just to kind of keep it fresh. So next time we'll bring you on for Deep Blue Sea. We'll just talk about how much we love it.
Yes, sharks.
It's just that, and then that one scene, and then that scene, and then what about that one
scene? Yeah, and the other scene. Remember the other scene?
Oh, and that reminds me of that.
But you know what?
Yeah,
that's exactly how I feel about Dr. Sleep.
Yeah,
because it's like, the scene, and then that scene, and that scene. It's one of those movies. It really is.
I do have a question for you, and I know you have some questions, so we'll make sure we'll get those out. But also Nicholas asked us on Facebook. He's like, "Why the goofy hat?" So Rose the Hat, right? She's just an absolute badass. She's hundreds of years old. She is just the boss. White people's out. She can like fly and travel and meditate, and she like eats steam. This immortal. She can live forever. But when do you think the moniker happened? Like, because when have you seen Spider-Man: Homecoming? This is really random.
Yes.
But remember when Ned's wearing the hat? And then everyone's like, nice hat, Ned. He's like, yeah, it gives me confidence. Do you think that was like her when, so her character came over from Ireland? Do you think that was early Rose before she was Rose the Hat? Do you think she put the hat on? And then people, hey, Rose the Hat, like the hat. Like, how do you think she became Rose the Hat? Because there's really no data on it or research on it.
Yeah, that's interesting because, I mean, for how long has she had it? Because that's a very interesting question. I haven't thought about that at all. A weird one as well. Yeah. But I guess, my first reaction is, well, it was probably a significant kill or something, and like she took the hat.
Oh.
Or maybe she literally just killed someone for the hat. I mean, if it's a good hat, like probably just kill them for the hat. I don't know.
Wow.
It's an old hat. You can see it's old. Like, it's very worn. It's definitely an old one.
You're giving me some good answers here. Like, I come up on these riffs and then you